If you've done jiu-jitsu for a few years now, you're probably starting to experience that some of your training partners can actually have quite a profound impact on your life. Now, I'm going to talk about the person called Gary, and this bloke in particular was the first on the mat and the last to leave, grappled every session. He used to light up the room with his rapid sense of humour, and anytime I ever thought about making an excuse to not go and train, Gary was in the back of my mind saying, how dare you have an excuse? Honestly, an absolute inspiration and a role model for everybody. However, now he can barely walk. And I say this as a warning. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 principles in which made Gary end up falling to absolute pieces. Before I go into that, for those that are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Paul Green, and I deliver educational lectures on this channel every single day. I also coach men from different disciplines, mostly grapplers because I'm a grappler myself, 7 years of experience and a purple belt, but I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces support group operator. Got a lot of experience of craziness, a coaching craziness, and making men strong and resilient and robust to go and carry out their endeavours and go and do their missions. That's a longevity program, but let's get cracking into a little bit of a backstory about Gary. Then I'll talk about the principles. So, like I said, one of my first sessions in the gym, he is in the background, just absolutely killing it, grappling with everybody, smile on his face, laughing, joking, just constantly conversation, friendliest guy ever, come up to you, shake your hand, he'd remember your name. All the good things that you look for in a person. He was the heartbeat of this gym. And you would never know anything else. You would never think anything else was going on until you start to see the signs. And it was the main thing that you'd notice straight away was he hasn't been in for a while. So his regular training sessions 4 or 5 times a week, listen, he was 60-year-old. 4 or 5 times training every single week turned into 2 or 3, turned into 1 or 2, turned into weekly, turned into fortnightly, turned into monthly, and then sometimes you wouldn't see him for months. Something was going on. And I noticed something was going on. I'm grappling with him, and we're just doing a normal situation. Obviously, him being 30 years older than me, I'm a little bit more relaxed. However, he is not a little bit more relaxed, and he gets angry that you're slowing down on him. So it becomes a little bit competitive, even with somebody who's over 60-year-old. Again, absolute legend, and he would literally talk to you, needle you, and take the piss out of you throughout the entire row. Honestly, a legend of a bloke, and I swear to God, like I keep saying, had such an impact on me that when I started to see things going wrong for him, I was literally slowly traumatized, and ultimately led me to building a longevity program because I couldn't believe that this happened and nobody was doing anything about it. I thought maybe I could have done something. I tried. So when I'm grappling with him, literally top side control, nothing special. He's bottom, protecting the crossface, framing, normal stuff. And as he's framing, he lets out this like almighty scream, like literally 9, 10 out of 10 pain. And he's rolling around the floor holding his elbow. And I'm just like, I didn't have a clue what was going on. I was like, fucking hell, what's the matter? You know, like as you would, like what the hell has just happened? And he's like, he stops rolling and he just has a bit of a breather for about 5 minutes. Obviously, being the person he is, slap bang, 5 minutes later, he's back on the mat rolling with somebody else. And I asked him about it. I'm like, what the hell's the matter with your elbows? And he was like, it's been going on for years. It's been going for years, you know. It's fine. It's all right, you know. Anyway, a few months later, same thing happens again. His elbows are fucked, right? But it's not just his elbow, it's his knees as well. And I noticed the same sort of thing with his knees. You try and go to do not a stack pass, you try and kill his butterflies by getting his heels towards his arse. Same sort of thing. Knees would feel like they're going to explode. Same sort of thing as the elbows. Now, this is where I'm going to bring it back to my own personal situation. This is just me being an observant white or blue belt at the time. Remember, I'm in this gym and I'm still in survival mode myself. So because I'm still learning a new martial art, it's the first sport I've ever done in my life. There's still a lot of information coming in. So I can't pay attention to every little detail that I'm seeing with Gary. So at this time of my career, I'm a paratrooper and I'm a physical training instructor in the parachute regiment, right? And I'm actually training recruits, like people like yourself that chose to join the army, and getting them to the standard. So in the day, I'm training people to get stronger, but then in the night, I'm seeing this happen. Because he's a civilian, you know, he used to work wherever in some warehouse. And I'm like, this is really strange to me, because I'm helping people with the strength of their joints, the strength of their muscles, improving their performance in the day. So then obviously part of that trickles over to the mat. I'm like starting to help a few people and give people a few points. Oh, your knees are fucked, right? Do this, 3 to 5 times a week, you'll be all right. Then start going to the gym, you'll be all right. Start eating this, you'll be all right. Start sleeping like this. So all is good. And then gets to that every 6 months, Gary would come into the gym and I'm like, mate, come here. I want to train you properly. Because this, and your fucking head at the moment, you're looking like a shadow of your former self. No more laughing and joking. Everything's a bit more serious. You look a bit more scared, you look a bit more hesitant, you look a bit more frail. What's happened? The jiu-jitsu flame was gone. And I wanted to fucking get it back because I knew how to strengthen his joints. But the question is, would he listen? He didn't believe that I could help him, and he didn't take me up on my offer. I was going to train him for free. And when he decided to say no to me, it is what it is. Because he was that far down the rabbit hole. He was that far down the black hole of no confidence in any sort of positive outcome. No confidence in any sort of relief of symptoms of the elbows, because he was that bad. But it's also that bad physically, but it's also reps upstairs as well. It's reps of what the doctor says. You need to take these painkillers, you need to take these anti-inflammatories, you need to stop doing jiu-jitsu, you need to stop all of this stuff, you need to rest, ice, all of this stuff, reps for thousands of days on end. Like, I'm talking thousands of days on end. It adds up and it literally ingrains itself into your soul, where somebody like me saying, I've got solutions, I know how to help you strengthen your elbows, strengthen your knees to make it feel a little bit better, because he had arthritis. He had chronic arthritis. But the only reason you get chronic arthritis is if you leave sore joints and you rest sore joints and you let sore joints get weaker, making them very sore, making them arthritic symptoms, making them arthritis, and then making them into chronic arthritis. It is a path that you choose to walk down. Now, unfortunately for Gary, he chose that path and he chose to stay on that path. He chose rest, he chose comfort, he chose the wrong foods, he chose to neglect his sleep. And fundamentally, it all comes down to his belief systems, how he problem solves, his thoughts in a day, right? And that leads me nicely into principle number 1. Gary, principle number 1. So, in order to not let this happen, you must believe that your best years are ahead of you. You must be willing to take full responsibility for your current situation, and you must have full belief that you can improve the strength of your joints and your muscles. Without that foundation belief, there is no hope, regardless of how much tactics you do, how much systems you bring into your life, what training program you're running, and how healthy you eat. Because all of these tactics will be fighting against a character that doesn't actually believe that these tactics are going to work. So at the foundation, you genuinely need to believe that no matter how old you are, you can strengthen your muscles, get more reps, add more weight, strengthen your joints, tendons, ligaments, and bones. Remember, anything with blood flow can get stronger. Simple. Some areas have more blood flow than others. They get stronger faster than others. But fundamentally, the reality of the situation is, if it's got blood flow, it can get stronger. Number 2, you need to do strength training effectively off the mats. There is no way around this. Jiu-jitsu will absolutely destroy your body, in particular your joints. If you're doing nothing off the mats because you just want to rest for a few days after a session on the mats, your joints are going to progressively get acceleratingly weaker. That is a sad state of affairs. But if you do nothing, you've got to go back to number 1 and blame yourself. You deserve to be in that situation. As harsh as it is for me to say this, it's just the truth. There is no other way around it. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how busy your family life is. It doesn't matter if you have school runs to do with the kids or work's busy. You cannot not do strength training off the mats. It's as simple as that. Principle number 3, nutrition or food. 80% of your diet needs to be whole foods. If it's not, if you're just winging it, you're just eating based off feelings, the chances are what you eat will actually make your joints feel terrible. And you might have had this in the past where you've chose to eat a few meals off the cuff, or you've went off plan for a day, and for some reason, even though you've not even trained, your joints start to feel like really inflamed and sore. When you eat ultra processed garbage, that's what happens. It doesn't only inflame your stomach, it actually inflames your joints as well. So your elbows and your knees are more likely to feel like shit if you've ate ultra processed carbohydrates like flour, bread, biscuits, cakes, pasta. All that type of stuff can actually just go bang and make your joints feel sore, which is mental, because you're like, what have I done? You're thinking to yourself, what have I done to make my joint feel like that? It could be food. So the way you get around that is 80% of your diet, whole foods. Oats, rice, meat, beef, chicken, salmon, all that good stuff where it's close to its whole foods version. Bread, if you need to eat bread, try and get sourdough. Pasta is processed, so be very, very careful with pasta. So 80% whole foods, mixed veg, mixed fruit, mixed berries, absolute legendary stuff, fruit and veg. And then you've got 20%, 20%, we are human. Eat what you want for that 20% allocation. The last principle number 4, sleep. You have to pride yourself in your sleep numbers. If you don't give your body chance to recover physically from jiu-jitsu, recover physically from weightlifting, but also recover neurologically from jiu-jitsu. Memory, problem solving, speed of problem solving, development of technique, creation of neural pathways, all of this stuff, all this complicated stuff doesn't happen anywhere near as effectively if you're having 3 or 4 hours sleep. Imagine I said to you, I want you to half your sleep for the next week. Tell me how you feel. Everybody would say, I'd feel like absolute shit. Motivation to eat healthy foods is 0. Motivation to lift is 0. Motivation to do jiu-jitsu is 0. Sleep has to be the foundation. 4 principles. The Gary principles. Principle number 1, mindset. You have to blame yourself. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Principle number 2, you have to lift weights off the mats. Jiu-jitsu will absolutely destroy your body, in particular your joints. Principle number 3, whole foods. 80%, 20% eat what you want. Principle number 4, pride yourself in your sleep numbers. Gentlemen, that is it from me.